it is the arrival of the king, and for Spirit Academy is the exit of the king, right? Like for them, they're losing two of their best players. BC Gamer gaining their best new players. Like this is obviously the specific crossroads that Spirit Academy don't want to be in. That being said, though, I'm very confident that this is an organization, this is a squad that can always show us something crazy, and it is going to be a crazy game to witness. We're about to go straight into Overpass. Already in the pistol round, we're rushing through things, and Cacanito not quite rushing through the shots. 1-for-1 trade's not bad, and Simple's holding the line along. Very calculated as he finds a triple to kick things off and tell Spirit Academy to sit down. Looking to find the fourth as well, but this has been a complete shutdown of Spirit Academy.
Alrighty, especially with 22 and 10.
Yeah, he was like 1 kill short of 40 kills and ended up the whole scoreline with like 39-22. So that's a very good KDR and just position to be in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
What people might not consider is that Simple comes from like a very long background of having played in positions where like he's put into awkward spots, you know, like he's often like, I know there's like the whole meme about like Simple carrying the hell out of Navi for the longest time ever, but that also kind of very specifically trains him to be good in like the tier 2, tier 1.5 environment where things might not be as well rehearsed. I think this is a very good spot for him to like show everyone that he's still made of what he was capable of in the past.
Someone in chat just pointed something out. Now I can't unsee it. Obviously, I don't think Simple's had his media day with Bc.Games yet. Hasn't had his own pictures, and they said, "Why is he on Nexus body?" And I think it is. I think it's a Photoshop job, and he's on. It's his head on Nexus body, and now I can't unswap it. Unbelievable.
That's funny. That's...
And either Andu has the most amazing skincare routine, or there's been a bit of airbrush there. He is looking like a Garnier model or something. This is... Alright, round number 3. Yeah, me too. I live a constant battle against blackheads every day. Just hacking at them with tweezers. I won't go away. Robo's managed to cross. Simple. He's in a really powerful position here. As this smoke starts to fade, he's hoping that someone's there for the fight. Robo's already slipped through. Cacanito with a big entry, though.
I haven't really seen this position be overused yet. Like, I know that I haven't watched too many games of Overpass to begin with, but like until players start to develop the muscle memory again to check for these small things, you're going to see like a 3 to 4 month period where things like boot.
It is certainly a contingency, there's no doubt about that. Cacanito getting a little bit aggressive here in round number 4.
Slow start. Spirit Academy looking to move right in. Andu's taking pot shots slowly. And as they come in closer to the bomb site, they're quickly going to be whittled down. It's kind of surprising that with 4 players...
A lot of util being dropped on the floor in the spawn. Guess that's for a retake util if it's needed. On the into playground, Mosaic instantly extinguishes it, so it only takes 3 points of damage. Oh, Sypho, alright. Maybe we're in business here. Cacanito's getting super aggro again, though. I kind of like this. They're going to get so much info, and they'll have an interesting flank.
It does come down to Kakanito being an issue here. Simple. Oh, laboring his spray. Tries to hold Mouse 1 the whole way through. But he's quickly going to be punished. Kakanito still wanting to make this a decisive effort. That's a double. And now Nexus making himself known as well. Mokujin slips the net, comes around, and as he's circling the waters, Nexa quickly going to get on the defuse. I don't think Mokujin's going to be ready for the full stick, and BC Game continue their...
At last, him, Simple, and Prime Taps were above 5 figures before buying into this round. Simple heavily invests. He was, as I say, above 10k, just marginally. He spent $7,000 in this round. It's almost the max amount you can spend. Nexus still up there on 12,000. It's 5-0. This has been pretty relentless from BC Games so far, and just rounds like this, as you said, rub salt in the wound. Push things from bad to worse. Maybe just tip Spirit Academy over the edge. Flash over the top. Contact out of connector. Simple somehow evades the bullets. They came his way, but he didn't take a single tag. Just going to work his way back. He's got Kakanito here with him along. That was a weird bounce.
Spirit Academy wanting to apply the pressure a little sooner. This time 4 through. Monster. One's going to be that second prong and short. Simple. Trying to watch the angle, but knows that he's completely locked out until further notice. Prime Tap still in the waters. Wants to make sure that there's a fine line right through the middle of the bomb site, and they want to try to take that space back. Simple readied up on the boost. As they get ready, Simple already finds one, at least opens up an avenue into the bomb site, but I wouldn't hate it if they didn't commit to this cause. They've got a little bit more money in the tank though. The rounds have been clean enough for that to not be a problem. Simple still waiting for the short beep, and Mokujin is just
oppositions to boost him up whenever he wants it and things like that. And you know, he's very, very capable at creating rounds when you give him those opportunities. Oh, right here, doesn't pull the trigger. It is going to be an entry out of Sifo, but yeah, as I say, comes into his element. He comes to life here. The support network he's got around him, and I think Nexa understands that quite well.
Spirit Academy know that they've got plenty of avenues to take from. That AWP not being a real issue anymore. But 40 seconds, you don't want them to be in the position where they overcook things, right? It's already hard enough to clear out every single nook and cranny in the B bomb site, so getting a head start here would be nice. I want to see how BC Game play this. They're all huddled up around the back of the bomb site. This is going to be an all-out war as the T's struggle to get onto the site to get this bomb down. Flashes are going to at least allow for some space. Nade makes it a little bit harder. There's actually a second nade that can come in through as well. Andu trying to beat them to the punch. Nexa's eventually going to fight one and put him down, but not fast.
Here we go again.
Bit of bullets flying across the map, but no damage has been exchanged yet. And Spirit Academy playing a slow burn game, exploring around multiple avenues here on Overpass. One watching the potential push in playground, two players getting super exploratory towards connector and toilets. Got a couple prongs outside Monster as well, and they're finally going to run into a fight. Nate to chase down the fight. Prime Taps is going to be tagged quite heavily, and this is where Simple needs to show that he's still wearing that crown. Postured aggressively with the AWP, watching a wide angle. And as they start scaling up, Simple knows that he doesn't really have too many resources to help him out. Cacanito goes for the wraparound, and now he's in pole position to try and defend this ace site from an arm's length. Needs to hit his shots, though. Oh!
Yeah. Of course he does. Why would you even question it? Let's go back in. Knows that there's going to be one walking up long. That gives him a second to entertain the fight elsewhere, but the timing's awkward. So he's starting to press up from toilets as well. Needs a second. Robo won't deliver. Nandu and next.
Mates had already rotated over, so he stops watching long because he's anticipating, I think he might have been anticipating one of the players in truck to be watching for that. But regardless, the AWP is going to be back in his hands. Spirit Academy, they're the ones that have to fight this uphill battle. Finance is a little bit more important to them at the moment than they are to BC Game. BC Game, of course, have already gotten a pretty significant chunk of rounds. Gotta add a few bonuses to it, and Overpass could be a very easy affair. I'd like to quickly remind you that this is Spirit Academy's map pick, which is why BC Game are getting to play the CT side to begin with, and I am really worried for what Spirit Academy are going to do on Mirage. It's a map that's been really good for BC Game. Then you have a couple of really high firepower players, like they don't even need to be mentioned, being added into the roster, right? I think Mirage is going to be a bit of a specialty for BC Game going forward. B-site's on the agenda, though.
Zaps. Oh, God. Kujin almost ends up with 2. I think that would have really made this round happen without it. Andu's secondary sniper can't connect either. Simple trying to play whack-a-mole with the head poking over. Will eventually get there as he works his way a little further forward. Gets to see a little bit more than just the top of the scalp. Leaves it down to Solfic. 1v3 for
oh, big miss.
Hang on a minute. This is what I was talking about. These little moments from the coach that deliver on all fronts. Taps the bomb. Knows that Nex has crossed to the corner. I'm surprised that he doesn't just...
Bus team at the moment. We've already teed up the narrative to essentially call this game the crossroads that Spirit Academy don't want to be in, right? It's one of the weakest positions that this roster has ever been in, while BC Game are fielding the strongest lineup they ever have. You've got the contingency of Maze, you've got the coach playing in terms of Sofik. And for them to get a close game here would actually be a really good result. They've made it deep, this far deep into quarterfinals. Like, that's all right.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. It's a reasonable result to have made it out of the Swiss stage, to have got to this point with the coach standing in, with the new addition. I think you can bow out here, not happily, but some level of content. Prime Taps, Simple, shutting this down. Tech9's not allowed anything. We saw it so many times earlier on. Static were quite...
It is a terrible spot to be in for Spirit Academy. And even against some really strong opposition like ENS, BC Game were able to close it out 2-0. It was also a very comfortable game for Simple then. And the narrative for that hasn't seemed to change now, going 11-5, but the rest of the team's also keeping up just nice. And Nexa 10-3, Andu 10-5.
Right. Mosaic. That's one here in the long tunnels. Simple's got to try and bail out Kakanito, and he won't. Misses the shot, so his teammate will go down. Makujin's down to 4 HP, and Simple He's already pre-firing the rotation, and he seems to be right. No, okay. You saw Sophic with a bomb going back. I'm thinking, all right, yeah, I think he's cooking here, but no, it does still feel like it's going to be that eventual A hit. He's just doing a little switcheroo with Andu. He's low on health. Andu's got to be the one to stand and deliver now. Smoke in place, so he can try and maneuver around it. And PrimeTap's in an interesting position here in Con. If he gets the timing right, they can make this work.
Oh, dude, Andu has to do so much here. The smoke obviously allows Spirit Academy to scale up, but then it also...
I love this.
Voids them of information. Sitting inside the smoke, thankfully for him, is able to find the healthier player. And PrimeTap's being good on the flank. Puts the final player on Spirit Academy, the coach, in a very awkward spot. I didn't even notice that Mokujin was alive, actually. Doesn't have a whole lot of HP.
Yeah, Simple's got a nade as well, but he doesn't need... That's not the case at all. He had the perfect read on it, knew that they were going to commit to A, but swapped with Andu, just to have that versatility on the rifle there on the site anchor, and he's the one that then wraps around for the flank. It was brilliant.
Oh no, Kakanito doesn't even let them breathe for a second. The rounds just started. And for Spirit Academy, it might have already ended now. Boost to watch the crossover into short. Andu gets a freebie on Sypho. Kakanito still wants to get his hands wet. And it's over. It's a 10-2 start for BC Game. Like, how do you even recover from that? It needs to be a flawless CT side, which frankly, I don't see Spirit Academy pulling up with how disjointed their T side has looked.
When it comes to Mirage from Spirit Academy, so this gets tough. Big entry from PrimeTaps as well.
Easy does it so far for BC Game. And Nexus sees a player with their back turned as well. The coach put 6 feet under. Sypho and Robo would now have to get a monstrous round that, frankly, they haven't even been able to service with guns.
Shot. Wow.
Big, the likes of Tricked in this last week.
Zay,
There's not a lot of time.
Yeah, they do need to be careful with this. The pistols are stacked up on the site. Zay's still popping heads as well. He's had a really quiet map, but he's also capable. He's not really shown it. Sypho, Sophic, delivering damage. PrimeTaps on the clock. Gives it more health, and Andu confident in his abilities on the Deagle, confident in his teammates on the AK. Kakanito's going to drop in Con, and PrimeTaps just about escapes from the monster spams as he repeat for the fight. The answer's no. Gets on out of there. He's going to go join his teammates here towards toilets and progress up onto the A site, but neither Andu nor Simple can connect onto the heads as they just poke around. Not an easy fight to win, but one that they'd love to. Yeah, it's not happening. Time are running down thin now. Oh my god, Andu. Where does it come from?
That is a stupid amount of damage being done. A triple from Andu. He's responsible for the opener with the Deagle. Then he walks into the A side, just waltzes in and finds 2 more heads. Where I think the microscope would generally be on Simple, right? Andu has done some very heavy lifting that certainly puts his name in the spotlight.
Yeah, he certainly has. a player that has really sort of proven himself since being benched on Game Allegiant as a force to be reckoned with. They've looked rock solid. Ooh. Good kill, Sophic.
Ooh.
He's going to follow up as well.
Spirit Academy might have a little bit more life in them still remaining. But I like the fact that Bc.Games don't commit to the cause on A. They instead try and navigate through CT, give themselves a little bit more breathing room before they commit to some kind of bomb plant. And Kakanito's trying to find multiple 1v1s. What are you going to expect in the corner of his screen? Mokujin is fumbling, but still manages.
In terms of just rankings and VRS points and whatnot, we're talking about Spirit Academy trying to just maintain their position. That's tough when you're playing against teams like Bc.Games, who exceed their ranking in terms of their ability so much. Bc.Games are set to get 35 points if they win this game. It's going to rocket them up 7 places. They'll go from 56th to 49th. And they might be able to get it done right here. I would want no other duo than Andu and Simple in a 2 versus 3 to try and recover this. The problem is they don't have the bomb. It has now been recovered. Andu seems to expect Cypho creeping up. Simple's found another, and yeah, they're doing it. They're doing it for us.
Both have found a kill apiece, and Robbo needs to do some very difficult lifting here. Simple up against him, couple shots.